Finally, a Cars movie for me! Hi everyone, my name is Chris and welcome to Tread Talks, where I walk on this treadmill to stay in shape while making videos for you fine people. You know, I never really got into the Cars series until after I had kids and I was forced to watch the movie over and over and over again. And surprisingly, it won me over. It's not the most original story, but it's a great movie for teaching kids that it's important to consider other people. And so I stepped into Cars 3 cautiously optimistic that Pixar had found more of a story to tell with these characters, especially based on what I knew of the premise. What does someone who's built their entire lives on being the best in the world do when they realize that the sun is setting on their career? It's a setup that's ripe for going into deeper, more touching territory, especially for those of us that are more toward the latter part of our lives. Now this time around, the focus is squarely on Lightning McQueen and his trainer Cruz Ramirez. And say what you will about Owen Wilson, I think he continues to be a perfect fit for the once confident but now increasingly insecure McQueen. And Cristela Alonso comes across as charming and funny, and her performance plays nicely against Owen Wilson's. And what was even more impressive to me is that even though her character is mainly fleshed out through exposition, we're still brought to a point of caring about her and wanting her to succeed, and I think it's a credit to her voice acting performance. And I should also mention that the Jackson Storm character works well despite being rather shallow. He gets us to dislike him, and he's a great physical manifestation for the fact that time is running out for Lightning McQueen. And just to round things out, I'll mention that thankfully, and unlike Cars 2, Mater's involvement in the story is kept to a tolerable minimum. This is McQueen and Cruz's story through and through. Speaking of which, the story is an area where the movie really succeeds despite not giving us the most original ideas. And the reason it works is because we're not dealing with some convoluted plot about alternative fuels like we were in Cars 2. Instead, we're answering a basic question. What happens to a sports legend when their career comes to its inevitable end? It's simple, it's more likely to resonate with us, and it gives us a natural reason for exploring more of this world. In fact, that's something I really appreciated about the movie, the fact that it got to flesh out the universe not just by looking at the next generation of characters, but also by looking at those that came before, and it managed to give the movie an unexpected level of emotional weight. At the same time, this is a movie about an aging sports hero who's now an underdog, and so a lot of the beats of the movie are going to be pretty predictable. Although I did appreciate how they handled the final big race in the movie. It was an interesting approach to what's often a cliché exercise, and it managed to reshape what I thought the film was really about. Now beyond that, I'll mention a few things that you'll probably notice as an adult watching this movie. There are a couple of convoluted or convenient elements to the story that are basically there because Lightning needs to meet a certain character or because the story needs to go in a particular direction. And on the positive side, the animation and the visuals are excellent. There's one scene in particular that involves mud and water that I was especially impressed with. And I also thought the score was rather effective at evoking the right emotional response, especially in the earlier part of the film where we're following the final years of Lightning's career and seeing some of the cracks start to appear. And the movie does feel like it takes a while to get going and build up speed, but the latter half of the film I think more than makes up for all of the world building and setup of the first half. But of course, we are not the target demographic here, so thinking about it as a parent, I think this is an excellent movie for kids. I know that the notion of aging and how to deal with it isn't really in their wheelhouse, but the concept of thinking about your future as being more than just about yourself is an excellent thing to introduce them to, especially when investing in other people is presented as rewarding and as enjoyable as it is here. So in the end, Cars 3 is a successful conclusion to the story of Lightning McQueen. It's not the funniest or most original story, but it's sincere, thoughtful, and surprisingly touching, which is why I give Cars 3 3.5 out of 5 stars. Okay, so that was Cars 3. Now, is there anyone out there that gave Cars a chance only because kids were watching it and you had to watch it too? If so, did it manage to win you over? Let me know in the comments. I'm interested if I'm alone in this. Now, beyond that, if you like this video and you want to keep up with my content, please like and subscribe, and hit the little bell icon to be notified when a new video goes up. Either way, thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.